After my promotion, my husband secretly forwarded my work emails to his mother so she could proofread. I found out when she replied to my boss by mistake. When I brought it up, he said he was just helping. I quietly changed my passwords. 3 weeks later, he lost something irreplaceable. I've never posted something like this before. I'm not even sure who I'm writing it for. Maybe I just need to say it all out loud because if I keep it bottled up any longer, I might actually explode. I'm Javanti. I work in tech marketing. For the past 11 years, I've climbed my way up through a company based in Austin, started as a marketing assistant, fresh out of grad school, and slowly moved my way into management. I worked hard. I put in long hours, took on projects no one else wanted, and built trust with a few key executives. Last year, I landed a major corporate client, a multi-million-dollar deal that completely changed the company's trajectory. That deal got me promoted to director of marketing. It should have been one of the best moments of my life. But the person I thought would be happiest for me, my husband, Neil, reacted weirdly. He told me he was proud, said I deserved it. But in the weeks that followed, he got really involved in things he never used to care about. He'd ask to read drafts of my proposals. He'd casually mention how tone matters in executive emails. One night, I was reviewing a deck and he leaned over my shoulder and said, "That font looks too casual for a suit presentation." I laughed it off at first, but it kept happening. We've been married 8 years, no kids, but we've built the life together. House, dog, shared routines. I always thought he respected me. He's a mechanical engineer. Smart, grounded, sometimes a little rigid, but I never took him for controlling. This was new. About 6 weeks into my new role, I got an email from my boss forwarded back to me with a note. "For your information, strange reply from someone not on the thread." The attached email was from a Gmail account. It said, "This version reads much better. You're welcome." Signed, Darlene G., my mother-in-law. At first, I couldn't process what I was seeing. I thought maybe it was some weird phishing attempt, but then I saw it was in response to a real internal proposal I'd sent earlier that day. It made no sense. Why would my husband's retired mother, a former high school English teacher, have access to my work emails? I didn't say anything that night. I waited until Neil was in the shower. I opened his laptop. He uses the same password for everything. In 1984 and checked his Gmail. He had set up a folder titled Work Stuff B. That's me. And in that folder were dozens of my emails, every work email I had sent or received over the last month and a half, proposals, meeting notes, salary negotiations, internal feedback. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Then I checked my own email settings and found the smoking gun. Automatic forwarding to his Gmail, which he'd obviously set up while using my laptop. I was shaking. My throat felt dry. My hands were clammy. It felt like a violation I couldn't even describe. When I confronted him the next morning, I didn't scream. I asked him calmly why he'd set up my work email to forward to his account. He barely blinked. "I was just trying to help," he said. "You've been stressed and you get emotional with work stuff sometimes." My mom offered to give some feedback, make sure things read well. She used to teach writing. My stomach dropped. I said, "So, you think it's okay to share private work emails, things I could get fired for, with your mother without even telling me?" He shrugged. "You're overreacting. She didn't send anything. She just reviewed stuff. And hey, she caught a few typos." I was stunned silent. He truly didn't get it. Or worse, didn't care. I told him I needed time to think and went into our home office. I changed every single password, email, Slack, my work PIN, our home Wi-Fi. I enabled 2-factor authentication on everything. I even reset the Nest thermostat just in case. I didn't talk about it again. I didn't want to fight. I just backed away. He thought it had blown over. 3 weeks went by. We ate dinner, watched TV, did the normal routines, but I was different. I stopped telling him things. I kept my laptop with me at all times. I didn't trust him anymore, and I didn't pretend to. Then one night, he was rummaging through our closet, loud, panicked. He came into the living room looking pale. "Have you seen the ring box?" The one with my mom's old wedding ring. I hadn't. Not since the last time I'd helped him organize his keepsakes. That ring meant everything to him. His dad died when he was 15. That ring was one of the few things his mother had passed down to him. It wasn't flashy or expensive, but it was emotional gold. He searched the whole house, accused the cleaning service, asked if maybe I moved it while doing laundry. I looked him straight in the eye and said, "I haven't touched your stuff." He believed me. He had no reason not to, but I had seen the ring and I didn't know where it was because the same night I discovered the forwarded emails, I went looking for answers. While I was digging through his files, I came across the cedar box. I opened it, stared at the ring, and closed it again. I didn't take it, but I also didn't tell him I had seen it. And I definitely didn't tell him that the box wasn't hidden as well as he thought because maybe now he understands what it feels like when something personal, something important, something that belongs to you alone gets violated. After Neil realized the ring was missing, he turned our house inside out. Every drawer, every closet, even the attic crawl space. He looked desperate. I just watched. I didn't help. I didn't stop him either. He called his mom that night, pacing around the kitchen on speakerphone. "I can't find it, Mom. I swear it was there 2 weeks ago." Darlene immediately launched into panic mode. "You said it was safe. That ring was your father's? Are you sure we didn't move it?" I stood right there. I didn't say a word. Neither did Neil. He just mumbled something about maybe the cleaner. Later that night, he tried to bring it up again. I was brushing my teeth. "Babe," he said, "I'm not accusing you of anything, but did you move it when you were organizing? You might have forgotten." I looked him in the mirror. "I didn't touch it." He paused. "You would tell me, right? If you did, I already said I didn't." He nodded, but I saw something behind his eyes. Doubt, maybe guilt, maybe fear. Over the next few days, things shifted. He started keeping his phone on him constantly. Closed tabs when I walked in the room, logged out of his email obsessively, almost like he didn't trust me anymore. The irony made me sick. Then one afternoon, I came home from work early. His car was in the driveway. That was odd. He never works from home midweek. I walked in quietly and heard him on a Zoom call. I stayed just out of sight. He was talking to Darlene. She's been different since the email thing. Cold like she's waiting for something. "I don't know, Mom." Then I heard her voice. "Maybe she's trying to punish you. Women can be like that, but don't let her hold it over you. You did the right thing." You were helping, that word again. Helping. I walked in mid-call. His face drained. He fumbled to mute her. I stared at him. "You still think what you did was helping?" He stammered. I didn't know you were home." "That's not an answer." He unmuted her and whispered, "I'll call you back." Before shutting the laptop. I didn't yell. I asked one question. "Why didn't you just tell me? Why go behind my back?" He sighed, rubbed his face. "Because you never listened to feedback. And Mom thought maybe if it came from someone else, you'd actually hear it." It hit me harder than I expected. Not just the betrayal, but the realization that he thought so little of me. That he saw me as too emotional, too defensive, too incompetent to handle my own job. That night, I made a decision quietly inside myself. I wasn't going to be the person who exploded or screamed or begged for him to see how wrong he was. I was going to let him live with the discomfort, let him stew in the silence, let him wonder. But I wasn't done. I started digging. If he thought invading my work life was fair game, I'd see what he was hiding in his. It didn't take long. I started small. Neil had always been weirdly private about his work. He was an engineer for a mid-sized robotics company outside Austin. He never brought his work laptop home. Said everything was on secure servers. Fine. I respected that until I stopped. One night while he was in the shower, I went through the drawer where he kept his receipts and payubs. I wasn't sure what I was looking for. Maybe proof of something else hidden. I found his recent payub. And that's when I realized something didn't add up. He told me he got a raise 6 months ago. Said it was just a cost of living bump, but the numbers didn't match what he told me. It was almost $18,000 more than he claimed. I checked our joint bank account. His deposits were lower than they should have been. He'd been diverting a portion of his paycheck to a separate account. When I confronted him, I played dumb. "Hey, weird question. Do you remember what your salary is now?" I was doing taxes and got confused. He didn't even flinch. Told me the same lie as before. I nodded, said thanks, walked away. So now we were here. My husband violated my work privacy, gaslit me about his mother, and was secretly hiding money from me. It felt like I didn't know the man I married that week. I met with a divorce lawyer quietly just to understand my options. I brought every document I had. Bank statements, the forwarded emails, a screenshot of the ring inventory he kept in a Google sheet labeled legacy items. I left nothing out. The lawyer raised her eyebrows at the ring entry. "You're telling me that's missing?" I nodded. She said, "Don't say another word to him about it. Just document everything." At that point, I wasn't planning revenge. I was planning escape. But then I got a call from a woman named Lee. She introduced herself as Neil's former co-worker. She'd been let go a few months back. Said she found my number through a mutual LinkedIn connection. "I don't want to stir the pot," she said. "But I thought you should know your husband forwarded a few of my emails to someone else too. Personal ones, and I found out from it after I left." I almost dropped the phone. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Just be careful. He's not who he pretends to be." Turns out Neil had a pattern. Not just with me. He liked to proofread other women's work. Women who got promoted. Women who didn't defer to him. He'd quietly loop in his mother, or sometimes just copy the emails to himself to critique later. That was his control mechanism. Behind the scenes sabotage, dressed up as concern. I wasn't just dealing with a controlling husband. I was dealing with a manipulator with a long track record. Now it wasn't just personal, it was war. The next week, I put everything in motion. First, I met with HR at my company. I showed them the email from Darlene. Proof she had replied directly to my boss on an internal thread. I also gave them a statement detailed and factual explaining what had happened, how my husband had secretly forwarded my emails, and how I had reason to believe it wasn't the first time he had done something like this. They were stunned. It wasn't just a violation of privacy, it was a security breach. They launched an internal IT audit. Within days, they confirmed the forwarding had happened. They changed protocols. They issued a policy update company-wide. Then I got an email from the general counsel. My company was considering civil legal action against Neil. I gave them permission to use any evidence I had. That same week, I pulled out the second account Neil had been hiding money in. How? I had accessed his laptop months earlier, and his banking password was auto-saved in Chrome. He never changed it. I didn't drain the account. I just took a screenshot of every transaction, printed the statements, and handed them to my lawyer. We filed for divorce the next morning. He was served papers while he was at work. The receptionist brought them to his desk. I know because Lee told me. He came home shaking, eyes wide, as if he had been the victim. "You blindsided me," he said. I stared at him. "You violated me for months." He said nothing. I packed up my things over the weekend, moved in with a friend while I sorted housing. I didn't look back. Then came the final blow, the ring. I had hidden it, not stolen, not pawned, just hidden it in a place I knew he'd never check, inside the lining of an old camera case in the garage. I had planned to give it back after the divorce was finalized. Let him stew in his paranoia, but then I got a call from Darlene. She left a voicemail. "You're ruining his life over what?" "Some emails. He was trying to help you, you ungrateful brat. I hope you're proud of what you've done." I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer. A week later, Neil lost his job. My company had followed through. His employer launched an internal review. They found enough to terminate him without severance. His mom called again. This time, she cried. "He's ruined. He can't find work. He's depressed. He says, you took everything." I didn't respond. But she was wrong. I didn't take everything. I just took back myself and the ring. I left it in a padded envelope on his doorstep with one note inside. "Proofreading doesn't make you the author."